And we are live.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Gathering Paracast. My name is Heidi.
And I'm Stephanie. And welcome in to
Welcome
another
our
crazy
Paranormal Smorgasbord.
Yes, the Paranormal Smorgasbord, which we like because we bring in all kinds of cool stuff. We've had a week off. How are you guys?
Good.
Excellent. It was a great Thanksgiving.
Was it?
Good. Yeah, it was good.
Good.
It was good. Yes. So awesome. And now this month is a short month for us too, because we have 3 weeks, and then the next week is Christmas Eve, and the next week is New Year's Eve. So we'll have those days off too. So we only really have 3 shows this month. So
yeah.
I don't know. People of
Let's
leisure.
make them good.
I know. We will make them good for sure. So smorgasbord topics. Who wants to start?
Well, I can start because mine is just fun and silly, and it goes with the season. So we're in December.
Yep.
And first, I would just want to say we have a full moon, and it's amazing.
I know.
So if you haven't looked at the full moon, you got to get out there and look at it if you can see it.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. So here we are in the season of all these holidays that we're celebrating, and we have one coming up on the 5th, Friday the 5th, which is Krampusnacht. Yeah. And so all of these Krampus festivals, our favorite Christmas cryptid is out. There's a video that I found of a
Isn't that
Krampus
fun?
festival. This is in Europe. I think it's Austria, where they have a whole bunch of things going on around Krampus, and it just makes me smile. And so Krampus is supposed to be the energetic balance for St. Nicholas. And so you have St. Nicholas, who is supposed to go around and reward good children, and then Krampus goes around and punishes naughty children. And so there's part of this idea that parents and elders would use these stories to keep kids in line throughout the year. Santa Claus or Saint Nick is coming, and if you're not good, Krampus is going to come, and he will do he'll hit you with a switch, or he'll put you in his pack and take you away. I don't know that. Yeah, that'd keep a lot of kids in line, I would imagine. One thing that I had to bring out, because it is my holiday tradition, is my Krampus stoneware.
I remember that.
Right? So what's funny about this is when I found it, I was like, God, it's such a traditional looking pie dish.
It is
having a Krampus in it. And it's, it's got the real, did they really do that? No, they didn't. Who made this?
It's really something else, right?
I don't even know who. It's a weird symbol on the back. So it's not Krampus. It's actually 2 birds. So either someone, when they designed this, was like, he, that's so funny, or they had no idea what they were doing and only saw the birds when they created this design. I would love to think that the person that created this design, however long ago it was like, he. Look at me sliding a little Krampus into this and calling it 2 birds. So anyway, I put this up every year because it's my little ode to Krampus. And frankly, I wouldn't mind meeting you. I'm not saying I'm doing anything bad, but I wouldn't mind it. If I want to look, I wouldn't mind meeting Bigfoot. I wouldn't mind meeting Krampus. Maybe they're related. I don't know. So anyway, there it is. December 5th, get ready. It's either St. Nick or Krampus coming to your house. And maybe there's a Krampus festival near you to check out this weekend. So,
because, so in Washington State up in the Cascades, there's this small little town called Leavenworth, and it's built, it looks like a Swiss. We were there this summer. It looks like a Swiss or German town. It's really cute. They celebrated Krampus last weekend. I saw some videos. Nice. So it's really coming to America, right? And I guess that one, it makes sense because it's supposed to be German-esque and European, but we hear about them all the time now. I think Casey said there was a few other ones out in the Seattle area too. So
they're all over the country. I was kind of looking them up, and there's quite a few all over the place, and they're also spread out. So not necessarily just this weekend, like you said, that there's some last weekend. I know there's some coming up after the 5th into next week and probably the week after. And who knows? I mean, let's do it all month. I'm up for it. I'm here for it.
It's fun.
Actually, I have a little Krampus connection too. when me and Tommy Cooper first started Cryptovania Studios, it first started with a post-apocalyptic adventure that some friends were making. And they came and they wanted to use Tommy's house as a prepper's house. And they made this post-apocalyptic adventure that was really, really fun for us. And it ended up being called Venture. And it was made by Matty G TV, who are very local to
You
us.
guys have talked
Yeah,
about
and
that.
they had it on Amazon and Roku, and they got a few million views on it. And they did
Oh, wow.
really well.
Cool.
And it was really cool because me and Tommy each got parts in it. I ended up getting the title of production manager, and I can't remember what. I think Tommy was a producer, and he starred as he ends up getting killed twice in the series. Actually, he plays two different characters, and then. But the star of the show of the first episode was a guy named Jason Hall, who also produced and directed a Krampus movie. I think it was Krampus 2. And so up in Erie, which is north of us, they had at a theater there, they had they had an opening for Krampus, and then as the pre-show, our Venture series had an opening. And so we had like this big shindig, and Tommy Cooper actually ended up walking on this red carpet and escorting the star of the show. And then we got to watch the screening, and it was really cool because we both got to see our names on the big screen. And like I took pictures. I have it saved somewhere. Yeah, and it says Jason Trost, production manager, the credits and stuff. And yeah, it was a really cool adventure. It really was. And so we got to be the opening for the opening of that Krampus movie, and yeah,
That's
that was
cool.
really awesome. And we were hooked
Nicely
then.
done.
Yes.
Nicely done.
Absolutely.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
To
so
both of you.
fun. Oh my gosh.
That's cool.
I love it. Yeah, and I've seen the pictures of Mr. Cooper all decked out in his tuxedo or whatever, walking that red carpet, and it's so awesome. It's very cool.
Nice. That's cool.
It is really cool. It is really cool. So one of the interesting things about this full moon is it's called the cold moon, but it's also in that it joins the Pleiades, which is a bright star cluster, also known as the Seven Sisters.
Mhm.
And they're saying that this special event is said to boost your intuition and clarity. You might suddenly understand things better and feel more in touch with your feelings. Pay attention to your gut instinct and dreams, as they may offer guidance to your path. Now, what's interesting about that is personal experience. Yesterday morning, I woke up super early. It was like, I don't know, 4. And I tried to go back to sleep, but I mean, I'm up at 5 anyway, so it's not like you can really go to sleep for very long. Finally, at about 4:30, 4:45, I got up. And I opened the drapes in the living room, and here in my front yard were 2 ginormous does. And one looked at me and put up her front foot. And I swear, now I am really close to the woods near me, right? In a block. And what I call the silver herd, these deer run, they walk all over. I have only seen one of the does here once, and it was a fleeting thing, right? And these 2 stayed out there for an hour. And I really do believe the one that held her foot up was the head doe. But I'm like, and she looked at me in the eyes, and she just sat and stared at me like, don't forget this. This has meaning. And so I looked up what it means, the totem animal for deer. And one of the things that it says, it symbolizes gentleness, grace, intuition, spirituality, transformation, regeneration, and renewal. And I mean, isn't that cool? So it kind of plays right in with this whole Pleiades, full moon kind of thing. Intuition and sensitivity is a big one. Also, one of the things was, patience. I am not very good at patience. The deer symbolizes patience. But I just thought that was really cool how they kind of the 2 things kind of combined, right? Telling me something, Heidi. What do you think about that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Cool.
those deer, the head doe was there to tell me something, and she is the head doe. I tell you, she's a big girl, and I've seen her multiple times in the woods. And sometimes I can be walking up the trails, and I don't even see her, and then suddenly she's there, and then she'll do that. She'll go like that, and then I'm like, okay, I'll go the other way. But yeah, but
Pay
she was in
attention
my
to
yard.
her.
I don't know if it was her, but it sure looked like her because it was the same stance, and she's a big girl. And yeah, she just looked at me in the window, and she was like, you could just see this going around in her head. And she's like, don't forget this. Learn from this. We're here to tell you something. But yeah, they hung around for like
Cool.
an hour because my kitties kept looking out the window, and I'm like, are they still there? Sure enough, so crazy. So that's my
Wow.
story.
Cool.
So, but the full moon is beautiful. Like Heidi said at the beginning of the show, I took Do for a little walk here before we got on, and wowza, she is amazing tonight. So
Awesome.
yeah, it is.
I like those when they do that stomp. That's kind of funny. Yes.
It is. And she does. Like I said, she's the head doe. They all listen to her, and she, she's just like, you listen to that one. But yeah, the herd over here, there's probably like 12 or 15 of them. I mean, there's quite a few. And I have seen them all together. And she kind of rules the roost. She really does. So I don't know. It's kind of fun. But I know, Jason, you were going to talk a little bit about Bigfoot. And my Bigfoot thing is that, Washington State, where I was just there last week, and they are, of course, known for wild Sasquatch sightings, right? That's where, before I'd started this, I thought Sasquatch was only in the Pacific Northwest, right? And Casey was telling me, and I have not had time to do any research, but on Orcas Island, which is the next island over from San Juan, there have been reports of Sasquatch this fall. How about that?
Cool.
I know. It's
you gonna
cool.
go over?
So what do you do? Swim?
You mean
boats?
recent ones?
Well, yeah, like recent. Somebody found. I did see this picture of, it was like footprints in a pond, barefoot. And somebody said nobody in their right mind would be out here barefoot. So it was kind of in the middle of the island, right? So it wasn't like by the shore. But, to me, I looked at the prints and they were kind of like staggered like a human, right? Like when you see Bigfoot prints, they're usually in a straight line, right? They're more like in a line, Somebody else said that too, but my gosh, it was a big print. Of course, they didn't measure it. So I don't know. And maybe it was a fake, but I thought that was just kind of interesting. Orcas Island, and is more wooded, I think, than probably San Juan is. But interesting enough, that's what we always say. Bigfoot can be anywhere. So maybe he is out there in the San Juans. You just never know.
Cool. You have to go look next time you're there.
Yeah, I've only been to Orcas once. But it's possible. I would imagine they, we always say they go in and out of portals. So really they could be virtually anywhere, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think you had talked before about the San Juan Island having a couple of sightings and stuff.
Yeah, not recent, but yeah, back in, 20, 30 years ago. But I also noticed on the BFR, I'm at Moneymaker's Facebook page, he was talking about an island, not the San Juans, closer to Olympia, that there are multiple Bigfoot sightings. So he's saying, nobody's ever seen Squatch swim, but they're assuming he swam. I'm like, no, honey, there's portals. But he said that they were even going to put a research center in this one particular island. I thought that was very interesting because he was talking about another sighting that had been in Washington, and then suddenly it went to this island, in the Sound, north of Olympia, I think he said, or southwest or something, but out that way. So who knows if they swim or not? We just don't know. But I think they go.
Now, how long sightings have been around? You've never heard of a sighting in water, like swimming. They've always been in the woods or in the open areas, so not submerged in water. So I would imagine they don't.
Well,
I shouldn't say they don't because I don't know, but.
No. Well, we've heard of them, like what we've heard of sightings where they're walking through water, and maybe like waist
but not
high.
swimming.
but not swimming. But I
Right.
mean, I would imagine.
Yeah, I don't know of any swimming sightings that I know of. Like usually there's like serpent type things, but I've never really heard of Bigfoot submerged in the water.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. See, Casey's online too, and she said, yeah, she read that they had just seen one in Orcas. So yeah, to be continued. Next time I'm out there, I might have to do some Bigfoot.
Yeah.
In the islands. Although I would love to go to the Olympic Peninsula, which isn't far. It's 5 hours, right? And that's where they say so many because it's the rainforest there. So
Cool.
maybe
All right,
maybe
Jason, what do you have?
All right. Well, last episode we had Tommy Cooper on, and he was talking about his adventures with T-Mac, who has a YouTube channel called it's just T-Mac, but it's T-Mac's American Adventures. And they were talking about that howler monkey type noise. And it just so happens that the video did come out just the other day, and I was able to listen to it and grab that. And it's fascinating. And it starts out, they're looking at some very vivid eye shine in the woods. It is very vivid and it's on screen. And as they're looking at the eye shine, it disappears, and then like behind them, they hear these crazy noises. And then I was able to kind of lift it up a little in the audio, but anybody that wants to like make a real examination of it should go to T-Mac's channel. But just for the conversation, I lifted the audio on the yelling a little bit. And it's almost a minute long, but it's pretty cool. So without further ado, this is Tommy Cooper and T-Mac right here. I think they're on state game lands that aren't no, they're not on state game lands. They're somewhere else right handy to here. I just can't remember exactly where. But here we go.
Where'd it go? There it is. I got those eyes. I got it at ×8. Let me try and zoom. I'm zoomed in max at ×24. And I can't tell what it is, but I can see 2 different eyes. That's the beauty of this phone, being able to zoom in. What the freak is that? What is it? You don't know?
I'll tell you what I think.
What do you think? Think it's a squatch?
I think so.
So yeah, and it's great how it starts out with with them looking for that eye shine, and then you get a very vivid call. That's kind of what we were referring to as like that howler monkey, that like that kind of crazy sounding as opposed to like Moneymaker's long-winded one that he recorded.
That's cool. I love the eye shine.
So do they think it was a Bigfoot then, Jason?
Yeah. Tommy for sure does it, and so does T-Mac. And they kind of went through and they're like trying to figure out what it could be. And there's a couple of different kind of animals that they could be, but when you start combining like the eye shine and the it makes a pretty good argument.
Yeah. That's cool.
Awesome.
That's a good video.
It is very cool because they do sound, because those Squatch, when you watch Finding Bigfoot, for example, the howls that they do are so prolonged, right? Like you said, this one was just kind of more short, makes more sense.
Yeah, that's cool.
It is very cool. I love it.
Yeah. I'm going to have to go check out the video.
I know. Me too. Yeah, Jason, you should put a link on the show page somewhere so that people can find it.
Good idea.
I will do that. I'll throw it in as a comment under this video, and then I'll probably make a little clip from it, and we'll include
Cool.
a link to that, because it's a pretty good. The whole video is pretty action packed. And T-Mac kind of considers it one of his better ones so far, and a lot of comments on the YouTube channel agreeing with that. Yeah, a good time. He's been up here a couple times. Him and Tommy will make a plan and head out and do, deep into the night. And T-Mac does a good job. Like he's got some really good equipment, and does a good job editing and presenting. It's a good product. Yeah, and informative and fun.
Yes.
Cool.
So
Yeah.
so make sure you put that link somewhere.
Yep.
Where people can find it. Because I would like to watch it too, for sure, because that looks so cool.
Yeah. It was interesting.
Well,
Cool.
very, very cool. For those of you who may have just joined, I think we might have some that just joined in, but go outside and look at the moon. Casey, who's out on the island, is saying there's fog out there, so the moon looks really cool out there, which it always does. And it's in the Seven Sisters, the Pleiades, and I'm not sure when you can see those stars, because I didn't see them when I was out just now. So maybe it's later in the night. I guess I don't know when that all happens, but a very cool sight to behold, for sure.
It is. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
so
anything
fun.
else?
I have nothing. How about you guys?
All right.
Yeah.
Actually, I do have one quick thing that I would like to throw out. In the last week, we've had a couple of losses in the local parent, or at least local to Cryptovania. One of them is longtime Pennsylvania and West Virginia researcher Fred Saluga. Just passed the other day, and he'd been fighting some illness for a while. And the same is true of Robin Moonshadow from up in Ontario. And she was one of our very first friends of Cryptovania. We used to have quite a bit of her stuff on the show. And she came down to she's been to Cryptovania. And we did an episode with her and Dirty Cell Squatching, and her thing is Strange Realms and Dirty Cell Squatching. So we combined it into Strange and Dirty in Cryptovania.
Like it.
And her big thing was she's lots of cryptid stuff. But she also was very big with the little people. And did a lot of writing about the little people. And she also kind of got her start kind of like when you guys did before, like Facebook and YouTube really took off. And there was like scattered websites and stuff, and I would consider her one of the early on very good and prolific writers, especially about little people. And her site is Strange Realms, and good stuff there. And we lost a good friend there. And so I want to give a shout out to both Robin and Fred Saluga. And on top of all our fun stuff, but a little tap out to those guys.
Yeah. Wow, that's sad.
Well,
But
sorry for your loss, and for our
Yes.
friends and families of those two investigators.
yes, but hail to the travelers, right? So
Mhm.
hopefully
Yeah.
they've lived a good life. They've done what they wanted to do. So that's awesome. Well, I think it's time. We're right about the half-hour mark. So we did a good job tonight with time. So thank you everyone for watching. Thank you to the troops who may be watching, and our heartfelt thanks for your service.
And those in the chat room, thanks for dropping in and listening to us live. Everybody else, wherever you're at, thanks for tuning in. Please go ahead and like us on YouTube if you have a chance.
Yes.
We can also be found on Podbean in our audio as well. So you can check out all of our shows there. And
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the rest of our shows in December, Steph.
Yeah, me too. It'll be fun.
And Jason, thank you so much for being an amazing producer, and all the fun that you've been having with our openings and
Oh my
closings.
gosh.
We've loved it. Absolutely
They're
loved it.
just,
So thank
I mean,
you
I feel like
so much.
every day he puts something else out on our page. It's
I
so
know. Well, he
fun.
does.
It's like
He actually
opening up
does.
a present.
So thank you.
So thank you. Oh my gosh, you're doing such
Yes.
fabulous work.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Well, good night, everyone. We'll see you next time.
See you guys.